What's going on, Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the channel where it's always fins up. We're back with some fresh updates straight from training camp. And let me tell you, Miami's front office is making moves. But before we get into today's big updates, take a second, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss a single Dolphins update. All right, let's dive in. So after Thursday's session, Miami didn't waste any time. They went out and added not just one, but two veteran cornerbacks, Jones and Mike Hilton. These are not just filler signings. They're strategic additions that could reshape the Dolphins' secondary depth going into the season. Let's talk about Mike Hilton for a second. He's a smart, tough corner with 8 years of NFL experience. Some fans are even saying Hilton brings more to the table than someone like Rasul Douglas. And honestly, they might not be wrong. Hilton brings quick instincts, physicality, and leadership that Miami needs right now. If you've been following our defense lately, you know there's been a bit of concern over depth at cornerback. And now, within just 1 week, the Dolphins have added 3 veteran corners. Sure, it's something that could have been done earlier, but hey, better now than never. This shows the team is serious about solidifying that defense heading into the season. Let's take a closer look at what these new additions really mean for Miami's defense. When you compare Mike Hilton and Rasul Douglas, you're looking at 2 veterans who didn't exactly light it up last season. But here's the thing, there's still a lot of upside, especially with Hilton. Even though he's undersized, Hilton plays with serious grit. He's physical, aggressive, and doesn't shy away from contact. For a team like Miami that needs energy and toughness in the slot, Hilton fits the mold of a high-end nickel corner. He might not be the flashiest signing, but he brings that no-nonsense edge this defense needs. Now let's talk about Jones. And this one's even more intriguing. Jones is a classic low-risk, high-reward signing. If you go back and watch his tape from his time with the Patriots, you'll see flashes of a cornerback who can flat-out cover. Sure, he struggled last season, but the raw talent is there. He's quick, instinctive, and when locked in, he can shadow receivers one-on-one, something this secondary can absolutely use. The best-case scenario? Miami gets the Patriots' version of Jones, the confident, ball-hawking playmaker who made noise early in his career. And if that version shows up in aqua and orange this season, it could turn out to be one of the sneakiest good signings of the offseason. Let's be real, these recent additions by Grier might end up being some of his smartest under-the-radar moves in a while. Both Mike Hilton and Jones bring serious value, and I'm honestly excited about what they could mean for this defense. Hilton, for example, yeah, he's smaller in stature, but his attitude? Huge. This guy is aggressive, relentless, and always around the football. He doesn't back down. He sticks with his receiver, and he plays with that scrappy, never-quit mentality that this secondary needs. But the real X factor here? Jones. Sure, some people see him as a gamble, but that's only if you're not looking at the full picture. His struggles last season may have had more to do with scheme fit than talent. And now that he's stepping into Anthony Weaver's system in Miami, that changes everything. Weaver knows how to maximize DBs who can move, cover, and react. And Jones fits that mold perfectly. If he's used the right way, we might be looking at a true resurgence. And here's the crazy part. If Hilton locks down the slot and Jones rebounds under this new scheme, Miami's entire secondary dynamic could shift from a concern to a strength, just like that. Mike Hilton's career has been one thing above all, consistent. He's not someone who's going to lead the league in interceptions or grab headlines every Sunday, but he's been a good cornerback for a long time. And honestly, if he's simply good in Miami, that's more than enough. Because here's the bigger picture. If Hilton holds it down in the nickel role, and Jones finds his rhythm under Anthony Weaver's scheme, they could both exceed expectations. Jones in particular could thrive more than he ever did with the Patriots. And it's not just about coaching. It's about the pass rush in Miami. When the front seven is collapsing the pocket, corners don't need to hold coverage as long. And that's when ball hawks shine. These are smart, calculated moves. And I'll admit, while I haven't always been Chris Grier's biggest supporter, he's quietly building something sharp here. But there's also a fair question that keeps floating around. If these guys are such great pickups, why were they still available in late July? Why were corners like Hilton and Jones unsigned while over 300 other DBs were already on rosters? The answers vary. For Jack Jones, it's pretty clear. Off-the-field issues held him back. In his own words, he wasn't even sure if another NFL opportunity would come. But Miami gave him that second chance, and now he's hungry to prove he belongs. As for Mike Hilton, age might be the factor. He's 31 and coming off a less than stellar year in coverage. But that doesn't mean he's finished. It just means teams were cautious. Miami saw value others overlooked, and that could turn into a huge payoff. Sometimes, the best moves come late, and this might be one of those times. Now let's talk about one of the biggest concerns fans have brought up, Mike Hilton's performance last season. I had a conversation with someone who covers the Bengals closely, and he told me straight, Hilton wasn't great in coverage last year. But here's the key. While his coverage may have dipped, he was still excellent as a blitzer and as a tackler. That's the kind of versatility that doesn't always show up on stat sheets, but it absolutely matters on the field. Cincinnati's defense, overall, was going through a transition. Their new defensive coordinator, Al Golden, who you might remember from his time at the University of Miami, came in with a younger vision for that secondary. And when a team is shifting philosophies like that, veterans sometimes get pushed out, even when they still have gas in the tank. Now, let's go back to Jack Jones. With the Raiders, it felt like a classic case of a player stuck in the wrong system. He didn't fit what they were trying to do. But under Anthony Weaver, that could completely change. Weaver has a knack for maximizing player strengths, and if he puts Jones in positions to succeed, we might see the best version of him yet. As for Hilton, people say he didn't play well last year. But let's be honest, who did play well on that Bengals defense besides the pass rush? It was a rough year across the board. And when an entire unit underperforms, that often points to scheme and coaching more than individual talent. Bottom line, Miami didn't just pick up leftovers. They picked up players who were mismatched elsewhere and now have a real chance to thrive in a better fitting system.